Hello everybody and welcome back to another video. Today's video we're going to be taking a look at Revell's 1:48 scale F-15C Eagle. Let's go ahead and get into it. So there's a little bit of a twist for this build, and that's that it's already been started. I got this kit about a month ago before I went on vacation and started it and then never got around to finishing it. So in between some really cool builds that I have lined up, we're going to be doing that. We're going to be doing this one, sorry. So here you can see the cockpit. There was no decals or anything for the cockpit, it was all just hand painted, but I don't think it came out too bad. I think being able to hand paint details like that is a really important skill for any modeler to have, so I was going to take the opportunity to practice. Here you can see me fitting a little bit of framing, or not really framing, but it's kind of the inner wall, or the inner ceiling, I guess, of the air intake. So here we have the horrible fitment of the front half to the back half. My reaction speaks wonders here.
What the f***?
Yeah, it was bad. I have no idea why the fitment was so bad. I actually ended up snapping off one of the locating pins when trying to shove it back into place and get it sitting properly. So you'll hopefully not notice at the end of the build there's a bit of a step there. I put some ordnance on the aircraft to try and hide that. But yeah, just ignore that because there was absolutely no way to fix it. I don't know if that was on me or Revell, but it is what it is at this point. So what you can see me doing on screen now is I'm just kind of gently scoring the panel line with an X-Acto knife because I'm trying to recreate something that I saw in a few reference pictures. When the F-15 is in a cold and dark state, the flight controls are dead. So the ailerons will actually droop. And I wanted to recreate this on the model just to kind of bring another level of life to it. So I'm gently scoring along the edge of the panel line here, and then I'm going to cut the plastic after it's scored and kind of bend it down to recreate that drooped effect. Here you can see what that looks like. I think it looks pretty good, and it looks great in the finished model. It looks accurate to real life, so that's all I really care about. So here you can see I got the wing all glued up to the fuselage. The wing to fuselage join was actually fairly decent, but you can see here there's a little bit of a gap, but we'll take care of that later. Here you can see I mimicked that same effect on the left aileron to get it to droop. I think it looks pretty good. Got both wings cemented on here now, and here you can see that effect. I love it. Brings another level of life to the model. That's all I care about. So, what you can see me doing on screen here now is inserting the vertical stabilizers in place. A little bit finicky to get them in. They're a little bit wiggly, but I do get them in eventually. And they have a fairly decent angle once they're in, so I'm not going to complain. So, in reference pictures when I was doing my research on this aircraft, I noticed that in a few F-15s, the pilots actually folded and draped, or I guess folded and placed, an American flag on the anti-glare panel in the cockpit, and I thought this was really cool, and I really wanted to recreate that. So what I eventually did was I folded a piece of tinfoil over itself a few times. Here you can see that. And I eventually put a bit of super glue on the anti-glare shield and glued a little triangle of that tinfoil onto the anti-glare shield, and it kind of looked like a folded flag. Gonna get that painted up with some just a regular old blue paint here now, just a craft paint, just to kind of make it look like it's the stars in the corner of the flag. And it doesn't, I mean, they don't look like stars, they're little white dots that I put on, but from afar it looks like an American flag, so that's all I really care about. That's kind of the effect that it's trying to capture, and I think it captures it pretty good. Just getting all those stars painted up now. I feel like I painted them a little big. If I was to do this kind of effect again on a different aircraft, I feel like I'd make the dots a little smaller, or even try to paint some stars. But at the end of the day, it kind of has the effect that I'm going for, so I'm not going to complain about it. Got the front part of the canopy glued on here now with some PVA, and the masking tape is all put on. Getting the canopy hydraulic rod cut off here, just so that I can close the canopy, or leave the canopy in the closed position when I'm painting, and then I'll go back and glue that on after the painting is done. So I just toss that in a baggie and put it off to the side. Getting some little miscellaneous parts put on here now. You can see the antenna on the spine of the aircraft just went on, and the main portion of the canopy went on as well. So we're getting the intermediate blue painted up now on the fuselage. Unfortunately, I forgot to record myself painting the gray and lining the panel lines with the dark sea blue, but I used that same technique in the ME262 video. So if you're wondering how that technique works, just go watch the ME262 video. I go a little more in depth about it there. So just getting this blue all nice and painted up now. Fairly uniform coats, leaving some patches of the gray to give the paint a faded effect. Excuse me, not going to be doing much weathering after the fact, after the decals and everything are put on, just because this specific aircraft was painted for the 75th anniversary of the squadron, and obviously the aircraft itself would have been in a regular scheme before that, and they would have painted over it. So the spots that they would have painted over, i.e. the decals, wouldn't be as dirty and faded and worn as the rest of the aircraft. So I thought that I would kind of try to achieve that same look by just not weathering as much over the decals as I did on the rest of the aircraft. So you could see here I wanted to do the radome in the open position to show the radar, and it just wasn't going in place for me. I don't know why. Couldn't get it glued up, it just wasn't working out. So I eventually decided to close it up. So I just stuffed a bunch of nose weight in the radome, just in case the aircraft would have been a tail sitter. Yeah, it wasn't a huge deal, a little upsetting, but I mean, it is what it is. So here you can see the decals have been put on. Saw that in the last clip too. I'm doing a bit of weathering here now. The only bit of weathering I'm going to be doing on the entire model is a little bit of oil streaking, with just a brown, I think it's like a dark green grime wash for green vehicles, by AK. So I'm just going to put that on here. It's a winter streaking grime, I think is what it's called. So just applying that on here, going to let it dry, and then we'll streak it back with a brush, and that's the extent of the weathering for this model. I didn't really feel like doing much else. Just a little bit of streaking kind of brought another level of life to the model. So bringing that all back now with a brush, just pulling it along in the direction of airflow. I don't think it looks too bad. I think it could have been a little better, but I mean, it captures the effect that I wanted it to capture, so that's all I really am worried about here. It looks good. So we switched from a brush to a paper towel just because the wash was a little bit too dry, and I needed to pull it back, and the brush just wasn't really cutting it. So on the wings here too, you'll see I try to streak it with a brush and it just does not go. So what we're going to do is take that bit of paper towel and wipe it back, and it streaks exactly the way I wanted it to. Getting the landing gear glued up in place here now. A little bit finicky to get them in place, a little bit wobbly, but once the glue dries, they're not going to move. I think you might notice in the finished model, one of the landing gear struts kind of kicked out to the side a little bit, but it's not a huge deal. Doesn't bother me that much. So just getting these all nice and glued up here now with super glue. Then we'll get the wheels on. So we're on the home straight for the build now. So we're just getting the canopy masks removed, the questionable homemade canopy masks, but they did what they were supposed to do. No varnish got up underneath the glass, so it did its job. Getting that all nice and removed now. Get the glasswork put back on the model. So you can see here the front canopy actually popped off, but we get it glued back on there, so it's not a huge deal. You can see that flag that I had put in there earlier in the build. I think it looks pretty good. So just getting the main canopy put in place here now. Pretty straightforward process, it fits well. Then we'll go ahead and get the wheels put in. You can see here as well there's a bit of paint missing on the wheel where it was clipped off the sprue, but I do paint that back up off camera, so don't worry about that. So the air brake can get secured in the open position. Just did this because I thought it added another level of life to the model, and I really like how the F-15 air brake looks. So getting that all nice and glued up now, sits well, looks good, that's all I really care about. Just hitting that with some Tamiya extra thin to hold it in place. So on this specific model, the Revell model, the inside of the fuselage didn't actually have any engine fan blades in the front. It was just an open abyss of the empty plastic all the way back to the burner cans. So I decided that I wanted to add some engine covers to kind of help hide all of that missing detail. So here you can see I'm cutting up a bit of tin foil. That'll go ahead and get painted up off camera. Here you can see how that looks. I think it looks pretty good. Not super accurate to real life because I didn't put the tie-down straps or anything on it, but it gets the effect that I wanted to achieve. Here's the other one put on now. Here we are painting the burner cans up. I just took a bit of silver, a bit of black, and a bit of intermediate blue, more silver than black and blue, and mixed that all up, and it gave it a really nice burnt metal, dark metal kind of looking color. So at this point now we can finish painting up the burner cans, we can secure them to the aircraft, and that finishes up this build. A little bit shorter of a video here, but I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did enjoy it, why not consider leaving a like and possibly subscribing to see more videos like this in the future. I have some really cool builds lined up. Yeah, if you made it this far into the video, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.